Alright, I'm just going to go over here real quick about some of the parts that we're reusing in this kit. As you can see, it's not a whole lot, but I'm just going to go over it real quick so that you know. First of all, you got your outer diff casings that you're going to be reusing. You can get just the part set with these, or you can reuse the ones you have. I've actually ordered some carbon fiber reinforcements for these because, as you know, this plastic is kind of weak, and after a few times that you're reusing them, they tend to wear out, these threads in here, and bend out. So I'm getting some reinforcement pieces for those. Next, you got your rear hubs. I'll be putting ball bearings in these. There's still the plastic pieces in there, along with your hex hubs, your nuts there, and then the 2 pins. Front hubs as well you're going to be reusing. It does come with some ball ends that still have these in, and of course I'll be putting in ball bearings in these as well, along with the associated hardware. Put this up out of the way. Your 2 gears for your front and rear differentials for the drive shaft. Your stock gear spacer piece, and of course the pin and bearing for that. Of course I'll be putting a fresh bearing in there. This is what I'm going to be putting in the front. It's a one-way unit I already have. This is causing me a little bit of trouble though, because now I have to get some dog bones from a mini chassis, and this front swing shaft's what I'm going to do instead of just a dog bone, because the ones they get you obviously are sized for these larger cups. Stock rear diff here. This one's I've locked up with, I can't remember how I did it, probably super glue or you know, putty or whatever. And then the outer pieces as well. These are the dog bone hubs for the wheel side, one way. Since I'm getting swing shafts, I won't need them, but I've also ordered some pieces to possibly make the rear a little lighter and put a spool back there. Drive shaft pieces, reusing those, along with drive shaft, which I replaced. It does come with a plastic one, but TT-01 fans understand that a plastic drive shaft is the first thing you replace, so I got this metal one before I put the build together. So this little piece out of the way. Your shocks, you'll be reusing those. A lot of people get metal shocks. I'm in the process of modifying some shocks I had. These are actually from a hot body Cyclone. Doesn't work that great, but I'm in the process of trying to find something that'll work for them. 2 stock shocks. Up the way. Your mounts for your upper suspension, the little ball, and your sort of pillow mount that screws in the top. I think I may be trying to find some replacements for these because they wear out and the whole upper arm gets a little bit loose. But anyway, you're going to recycle the 4 of those or get better ones. Various button head screws. Some of these are for the suspension. Some are for sticking some of the diffs together and whatnot. So I just kept all of them from my kit, and I'll be reusing as many as I require. And of course, I've got myself a set of these pretty cheap little eBay ball bearings, which are very similar in colors. So they may be the same as the ones I already had on the drive shaft anyway. We're reusing those, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and tear the sucker open right now and take some pictures and get this all put together. Alright, I just got some pieces in the mail here that I'm going to put in the car. Just wanted to go over them real quick. I got these, ordered these shock tower stiffeners because I really don't like the stock Tamiya shock towers. Now in the manual it actually talks about getting that Tamiya shock tower set, not just the stiffeners. I just got the stiffeners. I don't really understand the instructions so good when I was talking about that set, and it wasn't very forward before I read the manual, so I just sort of came across it. But I got these stiffeners and they should work just fine. I also ordered a couple of drive shafts for MO3M size. Pretty much any mini chassis drive shaft will work. They're 30 millimeters, I believe. And along with that, of course, for the I'm using that because I've got a one-way in the front, and I went ahead and got full swing shafts for the front, and these are going to be for the rear because I happen to have an old ball diff that I'm going to lock up, and then you're going to need a set of these. I already had them, but you will need a set if you don't have them. Otherwise, if you're going to go ahead and do this, just to give you an idea, the stock drive shaft or the stock dog bones are these little fat suckers, but they will not work with a if you have anything aftermarket, only with the stock parts. So I'm going to run over those, and of course I've got some other parts I've already installed in the car. The swing shafts are already installed, the ball bearings are going in, a few other pieces. I did also notice I also had to buy myself some turnbuckles, because the turnbuckles they give you here are not very good. They have very short edges, and they're very hard to tighten down. They don't seem to fit the wrenches that my other turnbuckles fit. So when I was doing the front control arms, I definitely had to replace them with some of the turnbuckles I had, because I could not get them done right. Okay, so I've just finished putting together my chassis here, this mini chassis mod for the TT-01, and I just wanted to talk about a few things about the chassis. And so far it's been, it's been a really easy build. I've really enjoyed building it. It's been a great build. There are a few things that kind of let me down with this kit, but for the most part it's been a very good kit. I just want to talk about a few of the things that I've had a little bit of trouble with. First of all, the steering. Once you put this together, you're going to find out that you cannot actually get the full range of steering on the rack. You hit a stopper because the links are going to hit up against the main diff body here. So I had to actually go with a different type of link on the end here and grind down the tube where the drive shaft's going in a little bit to actually get my full range of movement. It looks to be just about 30 degrees on the inside wheel, a little less due to Ackerman on the outside. But all in all, that was one issue that I worked with. The adjustable arms for camber settings also is kind of an issue. I think it's kind of a TT-01 thing in general, that you adjust these things all the way in, and basically you're at zero camber when they're adjusted all the way in, so you really can't use them to adjust in any negative camber like you might like. But for zero camber is all you really need on a drift car for me anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. I ended up putting shock tower braces on mine. The instructions said, and after I looked at them, to actually use the back diff housings that don't have the shock towers on them, that add separately, and actually buy the aftermarket ones. Don't really have to do that. The pieces I had lying around were the full shock tower pieces, and I found one that wasn't, but I ended up just buying the braces anyway, and that turned out to be just fine. I've got several upgrade parts on here. I had to get I have a one-way that I already had in my TT-01, so I've gone ahead and bought some MO3 swing shafts, for mini chassis swing shafts for the front, and attached them that way. The ball diff I had for the back really was kind of beat up, so I just ended up using all the stock stuff, TT-01 for the back. I've adjusted the spacing all the way as far out as I can for as much wheelbase as I can. It's still, a couple millimeters short of where I want it to be. But all in all, it's been pretty good. I really think this is a pretty good build, and I'm very happy to go out and try it out this weekend and see how it drifts. And just go over a little bit real quick here of some of the parts that I did not use from the kit, or some of the aftermarket parts that I used. First of all, the turnbuckles here on the adjustable A-arms that come with the kit are very subpar. They did not fit any of the wrenches that I had, and they slipped off of anything I tried to use, so I ended up replacing the turnbuckles here, and you could also replace the turnbuckles here in the back, but I only did the ones in the front because I was able to sort of twist the ones on the back, and it was okay. Shock tower stiffeners I ordered, and those seem to work well. I had a set of short-bodied shocks that I used. I had them lying around. Looks like they're Yay Racing. Some rear hubs. The drive shaft you want to replace, and it comes with the blue motor mount. I also have had a one-way in here, and the mini chassis swing shafts as well, so that I could get the one-way, because the one-way has a much smaller hub size. So in all, it's nice that that this kit's based on a TT-01 because everybody's kind of got a lot of the used parts sitting around. You know, I had these shocks already lying around. I had these rear hubs already lying around. I had the one-way already, so I just had to get the swing shafts for it. And all in all, it's a good way to recycle an old chassis that you're really maybe not using anymore. And I'm really looking forward to giving it a try this weekend and reporting on how well I can get it to drift.